Sup,
Beaches.
Eccentric Cast here, and I'm Spanks,
Mez.
Skinny.
and we're doing Storytime.
To make up for the shitty upload that was uploaded before I had the terrible audio,
Yeah,
but
the skipping.
luckily now we've sorted our shit out,
Yeah.
and it's not gonna do any of that. It's gonna be nice, good
Clean-
and nice,
clean
clean
cut.
audio.
And we'll leave it up to Skinny to start this one.
Alright. This is Cletus here. I'm just hanging out at my house with my wife, and I plan on going to Petco here soon and getting me a nice goldfish, maybe a dog if I'm lucky. It depends how much they're paying. Well, how much I'm paying, since I like to get my social security checks, so I don't get any money any other way. So down goes. Clee's gonna go right down the road here, and probably about 5 miles down, turn into Petco, and walk in, and then a cute lady comes up to me, and she's like, do you perhaps want to buy a goldfish today? And I was like, that's exactly what I'm here for. And then she's like, well, this goldfish is as a low price of $15.99. And I'm like, man, that's a good deal. So Cletus goes up to her, she's like, okay, you gotta show me this goldfish. And then she shows him the aquarium that the goldfish is in. It's like super tiny goldfish. And she's like, it'll grow up to be size of like a catfish. A very big catfish. And then the Cletus is like, okay, I'll take it. And then he's like, okay, does it need a home or anything? Or can I just keep it in the bag you guys are going to give me? And she's like, it would help if you got a bowl for it. Okay, I'll stop by the grocery store on my way home. And she's like, okay, looking at him all weird and stuff. It's like, do you guys sell any like rocks or something I can put at the bottom of that bowl? Or maybe a little scuba diver. And what else does it take to keep a goldfish alive? A better house? No, you said bowl. A bowl's fine. I'll stop by the grocery store on the way home. So, how much is this goldfish and this little scuba diver? It's like $25. It's like, but the fish is $15.99. How much is that little scuba diver? My machine's not working. I can't do the math right now. So, I'm just waiting for this machine to start working, and then I'll tell you the price. So, she gets the price total, and then he pays for it with all, like, a bunch of ones, a random 5 that he had in his pocket, and, like, a couple quarters and some pennies. He had, like, $5 worth of pennies out in his truck. So, whenever he goes there, he starts walking out to his truck with the little fish in a little baggie. He's like, man, you're a little cute little bugger. Gets inside his truck, heads to the grocery store. Most likely it's probably a Piggly Wiggly. Goes inside the Piggly Wiggly, and he instantly goes up to the customer service desk. I can't find any bowls in here. Where's the bowls at? Didn't even look. He's the guy at the front desk is like, sir, you just came up here, asked me where's the bowls at, and you didn't even look. Yes, I did. You saw me walk in the store, I looked around, and I didn't see any. So where was your bowls at? Okay, I'll show you where the bowls are at. and then he walks over to the aisle where the bowls are at. Goes to grab a bowl, and then he
drops one on the ground and it smashes. So then the manager is like, "Hey, you gonna be paying for that, boy?" And he's like, "Well, I don't know what to tell you, sir, but I'm gonna have to get some money out of my truck if I'm gonna have to be paying you. So you just stand right there and wait, and I'm gonna get you your money that I owe you." So Cletus proceeds to go out to his truck, only to do a couple of donuts and peel out, waving the middle finger in the air at the manager that's looking at him through the windows of the Piggly Wiggly. Then he decides, "I don't eat no goddamn fancy bowl. I got something at home that'll do just fine." So he goes back home and starts rummaging through all of his dishes and various kitchenwares. And then eventually he finds a coffee pot to throw it in. So he throws his new goldfish in there. And he just decides to just figure out what to name his new goldfish. But he doesn't know yet. But he's going to be thinking about it. So anyway, he goes to bed after a long, hard day of shopping. To bed, gets up, and goes to, and then his wife goes to make a fresh pot of coffee. But there's already water in the coffee pot, which was also dirty because their plumbing is terrible. So she doesn't see that the goldfish is in there and starts to make a fresh pot of coffee. Cletus wakes up to the smell of the coffee. Boy, do I love me some sludge in the morning, Charlena. And his wife, Charlena, was like, "Yeah, it sounded pretty good, since you went to the store and you were supposed to get groceries, but you didn't get any, but instead, I don't know what you bought, but I'm just going to have this coffee since we don't got no damn food." So he's like, "Wait a second. Where did you get that coffee pot?" She said, "It was right here on the counter where you left it. Again, you don't put any goddamn stuff up. I have to go through behind you and pick everything up." And then he mutters under his breath, "Why the hell did I marry this bitch?" So then he starts to freak out because that's where he put the goldfish. And then Charlena starts to say, "Well, why are you freaking out? Because I had to yell at you again for stuff you've done 100 times in a row?" He's like, "No, you crazy ass, cracked out, methed out bitch. That's where I put my goldfish that I just bought yesterday. And now he's probably dead. I'm going to try to take him out and resuscitate him." And she's like, "Wait a second, you mean to tell me instead of buying groceries with this money or more drugs for us, you go and you buy a goddamn goldfish?" And Cletus says, I think you should have assumed that, Charlena, just because of the fact that I was also cracked out at the moment, so you can't trust me when I'm high to go buy food." So then she takes the coffee pot and flings it across the room, breaking it, and the fish starts flopping around, and at this point there's blisters all over it and everything. It's probably about to die, but he goes over to the fish and tries to give it mouth to mouth, and in a big inhale, he inhales the fish and swallows it. And then he begins to choke.
When his wife says, "You're choking on your starburst again?" And he's like, and so she goes to do some CPR to him, and the fish comes out, and he catches it in one hand. "Oh, you almost killed my goldfish with the cup of Joe, woman." I think that's what I'm going to name this fish, Joe. Because he almost died by a cup of Joe. So, he puts it in a little cup that he found. He's like, "I think this will be suitable for a little fishy like you." And then he realizes, I forgot to buy food for him when I was at the pet store. So I think I need to go get food again. And he's like, "Hey, woman, could you watch my fish for me?" She's like, "Well, not really. I'm just going to leave him in the cup." And he's like, "That'll do just fine. That'll do just fine." So he goes, and he's like, "Little fishy, what do you want from the store? Do you want some Starburst? Because that's what I'm going to get, so I'm just going to get you some Starburst." So the old lady's like, "Can you get me stuff too?" And he's like, "No, woman, I'm not going to do anything for you. I should have married my other cousin. So I'm not going to do that for you. I'm going to go back and find that cute lady from Petco and see if she wants to go split a Big Mac with me at the McDonald's. Because I can't afford a full one. Or two of them. So I'm going to go and see if she'll split a Big Mac with me." And she's like, "You don't buy me anything nice. I only get like just the bread of the Big Mac. You eat everything else. Why do you have to do that to me?" And he's like, "I'm done talking to you. I'm going to leave now." So he leaves and he goes to the gas station. Actually, he goes back to the Piggly Wiggly because the Starbursts are cheap there. So he goes back there, and the same manager was there that he had yesterday. And he realizes in the window of the Piggly Wiggly there was a picture of him and the broken bowl that he broke. The broken bowl that he broke, and it says, "If you see this man, don't let him in here." So he's like, "I need to think of something quick, because I need my Starburst." So he goes, and it doesn't really do a good disguise to get into Piggly Wiggly. He just puts his finger in front of his, above his lips, so he acts like he has a mustache. And he doesn't really disguise his voice, and he's just like, "Olo, I need Starburst." And the manager's like, "Aren't you the same guy from yesterday that broke this bowl? You need to pay for this." And he's like, "Obviously I'm not the same guy. I got a mustache." And the manager's like, "Okay. Well, you can buy some Starburst then if you give me one." And he's like, "That's unacceptable. They're all my Starburst, and I need to give some to my fish. So no. And hey, I dropped that scuba diver here yesterday, and I can't find it. So you are the same guy from yesterday." "No, I've got a mustache. I'm not the same guy." So he's like, "Oh well, I have the scuba diver for you. So take your Starburst and leave, and just leave." And the hillbilly's like, "All right, I'll leave." So he goes and he runs into the girl at the Petco store again, and then
she's not working this time. She's just there getting a nice pet. And she's wearing an awesome Starburst t-shirt. And he's like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt. I love Starburst. I got a whole bag. Look, I got a whole bag." And then she's like, "Why do you have a whole bag of Starburst?" "I'm addicted to Starburst. Don't want to go to rehab for it because I love my Starburst. But I see that you have the same thing as I do, and I like Starburst, and you obviously like Starburst too because you're wearing a t-shirt." "This is my boyfriend's t-shirt. Do you think we can hang out sometime? Like today? Like right now? Right now? I'm trying to get a dog. Okay, I got you a dog." And then he winks at her. And she's like, "Why are you winking at me, you creep?" "I'm not being creepy. I just want to hang out with somebody, and you're cute, and we just need to hang out." And she's like, "What were you planning on doing?" "I just want to hang out. Talk. And might show you my dog if you want." "You have a dog?" "Sure do." it's not a very big dog. But I do have a dog. We can't go back to my house. My wife's kind of mad at me. So, can we go to yours? And she's like, I guess. Okay, I'll follow you in my truck. I don't want to leave my truck here at Petco. And then she's like, okay. Then she goes outside, hops in her car, and he hops in his truck. Then they start driving down the road, and he has a super loud truck. And she's driving really slow, so he's like going really fast up to her, slowing down, and then he keeps speeding back up to her and slowing down. And he's like, man, this lady sucks at driving. She should have rode with me. We would have been there already. Well, probably not, because I don't know where she lives. But it doesn't matter as long as we're together. So we finally show up to her house. And she lives in a trailer too. And I was like, man, this trailer's all fancy. It's fresh paint. Looks a lot better than mine. Mine's all like peeling off and stuff. Don't have like beer cans out in the front yard. Starburst wrappers. And then they pull up to the driveway. They get out and she's like, here's my house. And I was like, you want to see my dog now or later? So, she's like, later, I guess. You don't have it with you, do you? Oh, I got it with me. Is it in your truck? We can come back out and get it later. So, then they go inside, and she has like pink everything. Pink couch, pink recliner, pink table, Pepto-Bismol everywhere. And then she's like, man, you drank a lot of Pepto. Does your stomach get upset? Mine does. Can I have some of that? Man, that's food I ate earlier. Really messing me up right now. She's like, sure, but I have like a whole fridge full over there. It's like a mini fridge. She opens it up and it's like full of Pepto-Bismol. Closes it. It's like, man, is that what you only drink here? Sure. Yes, it is. Why? Sure. And he's like, man, this is delicious. I can't afford this. I did get a fish. That fish you got me yesterday. Yeah, it's still alive. I put it in my coffee pot. And my wife tried to make it with some Joe, so I named it Joe. She's like, okay. And I should have brought my fish, but oh shit, I forgot to feed my fish. But it's okay. It's a fish. It'll live, maybe. I'm not sure if it'll live or not. But I did spend $15.99, so I guess I hope it's alive. So they start talking, and then they really figure out that a lot of the stuff that they know is really in common with each other. And then they start talking, and then he finally asked her again, so do you want to see my dog? And he's like, sure. You said it was out in your truck. It's not that dog. And then he starts to take off his belt, and she's like, oh, that dog. You're not wanting to make sweet love with me right now, are you? Sweet love? What's sweet love? My mom's home right now. Your mom? How old are you? And then she's like, oh, I'm like 40, and Cletus is like, man, you're old. And then, so you still live with your mom? That's fucking weird. So I don't live with my mom. My wife lives with me. She acts like my mom. She's a bitch. So we're not together at the moment. That's all you need to know. So so you're ready to make sweet love?
And she says, maybe. Did you bring any protection? And then Cletus says, of course I got protection, sugar sweet baby doll. I made sure before I left the house, and I brought some ammunition, and the woman that is seeing says, "What are you talking about, ammunition?" I was talking about condoms. He's like, "Oh, well, if we're making sweet love, I don't use any of those types of things because I don't believe in birth control. Otherwise, it's not sweet love." And then she says, "Well, I guess this wasn't going to get very far anyway then. It's a shame since we have so much in common. Maybe we can just stay friends." And then Cletus says, "Yeah, I suppose we could be friends. I could treat you like some of my other friends that I treat." She's like, "Oh, really?" And Cletus is like, "Yeah, sure, no big fucking deal, bro." And then he gives her a swift punch in the shoulder. And then she drops to the floor. And then she says, "What the hell did you do that for?" And he's like, "It ain't no domestic, baby. This is just how I treat all my other guy friends. I don't have many girlfriends. Can't imagine why." And she's like, "Well, you just hurt me in the shoulder, and it nearly popped it out of place. I think you should leave now, and take your Starburst with you, because I'm not in the mood to eat my favorite food anymore. I was going to put it on a pizza for a topping, but you know what? You just soured my appetite, so just leave." And he's like, and then Cletus says, "You sound just like my goddamn cousin wife. Always fucking beaching. You know what? Don't even need to tell me, not even necessary. I'm just going to leave. You don't have to say any more." So Cletus hops in his truck and begins to drive down the road, starting to wonder where he's going to go since his wife got angry at him and he feels like maybe he can't go home yet. So he takes a trip back to the Petco to find another exotic pet. And when he goes in there and he looks at everything, he decides nothing in there is for him other than one particular creature that's that he sees that he thinks is just right for him. Low maintenance pet that he can take out and still pet if he wants, not unlike the goldfish. Yep, it was a turtle. So he gets the turtle, which he paid $16 for, and begins to take off down the road, hitting every pothole in sight, just to test out how awesome his lifted truck is as he goes down the road, sporting his bumper sticker, "Big truck likes to fuck" bumper sticker, and on the other side, "Big truck, small penis." But he decides he's just going to go back home anyway because he thinks that his wife will like the new pet, maybe bring her a little joy. So he gets home to his wife and
he shows her the turtle, and she's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "Well, I know you don't like Joe, and I know you try to kill him and all, and I guess I need to feed him still, so I need to give him some of my Starburst. But I got you a turtle, and it cost one more penny than my goldfish did. So you better like it. You better appreciate it, woman. I know the other woman I talked to didn't really want to see my hot dog, but that's besides the point. You don't need to know about that. Anyways, I forgot. I wasn't supposed to tell you that. Anyways, you could pet it. You could pick it up and pet it, and just don't put it in the coffee pot. Okay, that it doesn't go in the coffee pot. This one's a turtle. And she picks it up, and she's like, "Oh, how cute." And it bites her in the finger, and she's like, "Not the fucking turtle!" And throws it on the ground. And he's like, "What are you doing, woman? You're gonna kill my other pet." And she's like, "I thought you bought it from me for 1 penny more than you bought the other goldfish." And he's like, "I did, but I'm gonna keep the turtle anyways, but you almost killed it. Let me see if it's okay." He picks it up, and thank goodness that turtles have that shell on them, so because he was just fine. He just curled up in the turtle, the shell. Not the turtle. He is a turtle. He curled up in the shell, and it pokes his head back out, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna call you Baby Cletus, because you're a little baby." And he goes and he shares his starburst with his Joe fish that's still got boils and stuff all over his gills and stuff. And he decides to put the turtle in the water to try to get them to have fun together. And the turtle just kind of floats there. I don't know how it floats on top of the water, but it does. And it floats on top of the water. So it's a water turtle. It's a WT, water turtle. And he's like, "Look at little baby Cletus and Joe. I think I'm going to show my other cousin. Maybe I can have her fall in love with me like I did my first cousin." Anyways, I'm going to go to bed now. So he goes to bed, and he wakes up, and he realizes the turtle's on the bottom of the bowl. He, "Oh no, I think I killed my turtle." So he picks it back up.
And then he's like, "Can turtles swim?" And he picks up, while he's holding the turtle, turtle comes out and he's like, "Oh yeah, you fuckers can swim." So since he knows that turtles can swim now, he's like, "Man, okay." He's like, "I'm gonna go ahead and put you right back in this bowl," and then just drops it in the bowl, let water splash everywhere. It's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go over to my other cousin's house real quick. Gotta see if I can work my moves on her." So he gets in a truck, goes over to his other cousin's house, and he's like, Hey cousin, how you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm doing good." "Oh, that sounds nice. Do you have a boyfriend yet?" Of course not." "Well, I wonder." And he's like, "Do you want one? You're married, aren't you?" "So?" "Married to my sister." And then he's like, "Do you want to get together with me? I have Starburst. Juicy Starburst. I got a whole bag still. This isn't the same bag from yesterday. I ate most of those yesterday. It's that addiction that I got." So, but I was wondering if you wanted to get with me and I could move in with you since it's only you living here. "Oh, I got a roommate." "Is it a guy or a female?" "It's a female." "Okay, that's fine." And then he's like, "I'm gonna go over to my house and get my stuff, and I'll come back over, okay?" And then she's like, "Okay, I'll be here." And then he gets in his truck, goes over to the house, and he tells his wife, "We're breaking up. I'm gonna go over to my other cousin's house, okay?" And she's like, "What? We're breaking up?" "Yeah, did you not listen? We're breaking up." She's like, "But what did I do to get you to break up with me?" "Really? You're gonna tell me that?"
Hey, that's pretty good.
And then she's like, "Well, this is fucked up. Are you taking all the money too?" "Well, of course I'm taking all the money. It's my Social Security. I need it." She's like, but I haven't got my social security check yet. And then he's like, well, that's your problem, lady. Not mine. I already got my social security check. So since I already got mine, I'm going to go ahead and get all my stuff and I'm leaving. So, can you help me put all my stuff in my truck? I guess, Cletus. Since you're leaving anyway, might as well help you before you leave. And then they get all of his stuff together, and then they go outside to put it in his truck, and she's like, so it's really happening, huh? And he's like, damn straight! And then he hops in his truck and automatically leaves. And then, whenever he gets there, he goes inside and is like, okay, you want to come inside and, well, you want to come outside and help me get my my stuff out of my truck? And she was like, sure, I'll help you get your stuff inside. Goes outside, gets all the stuff out of the truck, brings it back in. It's not a lot. He didn't have a lot of stuff. He did have a stash of Starburst at his house, though. So, he has like 2 bags now. And then she's like, so can I have some of the Starburst? And he's like, are you going to buy me more? Because that's the only way you get them. Because these are mine. The only thing you getting is this hot dog in my pants. She's like, what hot dog? Oh, you want to see it? So she's like, no, not right now. I can't handle it. And once he starts thinking about why he moved in with her, whenever he figured out that she's more stupid than he is. And he's like, man, I forgot my goldfish and my turtle. I gotta go get them. And then he's like, okay, I'll be back. I gotta go get my pets. Hops in his truck, goes like 100 miles an hour down the road. Actually, like, hits the side of the trailer to get to it. And hops out, goes inside, and she's like, why you hit my trailer? Why are you even back? I forgot my pets. She's like, what pets? My goldfish and my turtle. I sold those already. It's like, you sold my goldfish and my turtle? Who in the fuck wants to buy a goldfish and a turtle? So, once she starts explaining to who she bought it from, well, who she sold the goldfish and turtle to, and she pretty much described the chick from Petco. And she's like, that bitch. And then he hops in his truck again, pretty much like rips the whole siding off of the trailer for backing up since he kind of rammed into it. Starts driving over to her house. Once he gets to her house,
then he's outside and he has to get all of his things, which was not much from what I can recollect. And he goes and brings his goldfish and his turtle, and is wanting to move in with the girl. And then she sees what he has to offer, and she said, I thought you had more to bring to the table, since we ain't living no high life like you used to live, but I guess that was all of your cousin wife's stuff. I'm assuming by the only couple things that you brought to move into this house. And Cletus says, well,
yeah, he's got to go to he's got to.
Brief intermission. I guess that's what I fucking get for going to the bathroom while they were telling their part of the story. Mez here. Continuing where they left off after I was, they caught me up on everything. So anyway, he goes to the Petco lady's place and to get the the goldfish and the turtle, and then peels out of her yard, spinning a bunch of mud and everywhere, getting all of her lawn gnomes all dirtied up and stuff, and makes a beeline for his other cousin's place, which he's so excited to move into. He's already has a raging boner thinking about all the crazy sexcapades that he's going to be getting himself into, and also envisioning all the beautiful retarded children that they're all going to have if they have kids. So he gets there, and he begins to take his goldfish and his turtle in there, and he sees his other cousin, and she's just starstruck by just the way he looks, how the moonlight's playing off of his flannel shirt, trucker hat, and snaggletooth, that she feels like she's beginning to fall in love all over again for the 5th time. So he's like, "Are you ready?" Cletus says, "Are you ready to get down to business, baby?" And then his cousin says, "Well, if you want to, I won't say no." So then they begin to start making love on the sofa. Of course, the camera pans up so you don't see anything. And then the turtle is just sitting there watching everything unfold. His eyes are wide open. And then Cletus looks up as they're getting intimate and sees the turtle looking at him. He's like, "Not the fucking turtle! I'll be goddamned if I have a pervert as a pet." And then in the middle of their intimate business, he gets up and takes that turtle and chucks it outside, and it goes immediately into his neighbor's right into goes into his neighbor's wood chipper. And then the turtle gets all shredded up, comes out on the other side, and his neighbor's like, "Smell that, honey? It smells like they're making turtle soup." She's like, "Yeah, it does. Well, I think we should go get some stuff to make turtle soup. Sounds pretty good." Anyway, back to Cletus's situation. He's like, "Well, at least I still got my goldfish, Joe. I know he's not going to judge me or be perverted. Right, Joe?" As he looks over at Joe, and he's swimming sideways because he's just as retarded as himself. He knows that his fish would never double-cross him. Except for the next day when he wakes up and his fish is belly up because it has died. And he finds out that, maybe it wasn't a good idea to feed him Starburst. I thought he loved all the things that I loved. I spray painted him red flannel. I fed him Starburst. Gave him a little bit of chewing tobacco. But I guess that was too much for his little heart to take. May he rest in pieces with my pervert of a turtle in pet heaven. I'm not taking him to a pet cemetery, though, because I saw that movie one time, and it terrified the living bejesus out of me, and I ain't gonna let even that happen to my pets. So, they have a funeral for the fish in their bathroom. And they say a few words. His cousin still thinks he's a little messed up for it, but she plays along because she's just so in love with him at this point in time. So they flush it down, and then they begin to plan their new life together. After all that's said and done, 5 years later,
they have a kid, and he remembers all of his times with his goldfish and his turtle. So he decides to call the kid Baby Cletus Joe. So it's named Baby Cletus Joe. And he's like, "I'm so glad that I have this family with Baby Cletus Joe." And then he remembers, "I thought you had a female roommate, and I thought you said she was here, and I was wanting to make love to her too. And she's like, well, she was, but she never came out of room for those 5 years. We might as well go check on her. So I think we should go check to see if she's even still alive. And she goes in he goes in the room. No, she's still alive. She's just sitting on the edge of the bed, sitting staring at a blank TV. It doesn't even work. It's got a big crack down the middle. It's not even working. And he's like, what are you doing in here? And she's like, well, I was terrified that you threw that turtle in the wood chipper, that I was so terrified that I couldn't move for so long. So he's like, well, why don't you come join us? Because me and my cousin are gonna make sweet love on the sofa again, like we did 5 years ago. We were wondering if you wanted to join us. And she's like, I think that would satisfy my needs pretty well. And so they're all getting down to business on the sofa, and they hear the crack of the front door open, and slowly walks in a turtle that just slowly walks in. And Cletus jumps up and he's like, another fucking turtle? Not this fucking turtle. And he throws it, and it lands in the neighbor's window this time, in the on top of the counter. And the guy's like, oh babe, it's another turtle. Do you wanna kill this one and make turtle soup? And she's like, yeah, I think that'd be mighty fine. Let's feed it to the nice neighbors that are back there that have not talked to us in 5 years. I think it's nice to go and talk to them. And he's like, I think that's a mighty idea. So they go and knock on the door, and Cletus opens Cletus Jr. opens. He was in the living room the entire time this was happening. He was just sitting playing with his teeter-tot toy or something. he was in there just sitting in the corner, not saying a word, because he knew his dad, Cletus, was going to yell at him and throw a Starburst wrapper at him. And so he opens the door, and in the background they're all on the sofa doing some stuff. And he's like, is your father home? I can see he is. Cletus Joe's like, and the neighbor's like, don't you talk, boy? And Cletus Jr.'s like, and he goes and runs in the other room. And Cletus is like, what are you folks doing here? And he's like, I was making turtle soup and we thought you wanted some. Cletus is like, yeah, come join us in this fiasco we got going on here. And we can rub some turtle soup on our nipples. And as they're eating some turtle soup and on the couch sofa, you can hear Cletus Jr. in the background. And as they were doing stuff on the couch, all five of them, because there's five of them, Cletus Jr., in the background, and the first cousin wife comes and knocks on the door.
She's like, Cletus Jr. also, he goes to answer that as well. He answers the door, opens the door wide open so she could see everything that's going on. She's like, oh my God! She's like, just pushes the kid out of the way. And then she's like, can I join you guys? I haven't had sex in 5 years. And then they're like, who are you again? Because Cletus is the only one that knew her. And then Cletus is like, oh, that's my ex-wife cousin. She's your cousin? Yeah, so is this girl. She's my cousin too. And then their neighbors get up and leave, and they're like, okay, we'll see you never. So she's like, can I join now? And Cletus is like, sure. Cletus Joe, you gotta get to the bedroom right now. He's like, So he starts to get to the bedroom, slams the door, and then they start to get down again, and you still hear Cletus Joe in the background going, and then Cletus is like, hang on, I gotta go tell that boy to shut the hell up. So he busts in the room and he's like, if you don't shut up, I'm gonna get somebody to hit you, because I won't hit you, I'm too nice. And then he's like, He's like, what did I tell you, boy? He's like, just stares. He just stares at Cletus, and Cletus is like, that's what I thought. And on his way, Cletus decides to walk out the door, and while he's closing the door, Joe is like, Cletus busts in the room again. What did I tell you, boy? I'm gonna go get your mama. She's gonna hit you. I don't hit you, though. I let her hit you. And he's like, And then Cletus walks back out the door. And while staring at him while closing the door, by the way, Cletus is still naked, so. And then he's like, closes the door all the way. And then he runs back in the living room, and they start to get down again. About an hour and a half later, Cletus is like, okay, I'm all done, everyone leave. Especially you, ex-wife, get out of here. You're not even supposed to be here, you weren't even invited. So, she leaves, and then everything's fine and dandy, and then probably about 20 years later, his new wife ended up crashing his truck, and she ended up dying. And since she died, he felt the need to go ahead and buy a new truck. Since she died and messed up his truck, he didn't even go to her funeral. And she's like, couldn't handle paying that much money with the Social Security check he gets. So he'll let somebody else pay for that. He's cheap. And only buy Starburst still. Still addicted to Starburst. After the 20 years has passed, still hasn't got rehab for the Starburst. And after the 20 years, he gets a new truck. And him and Cletus Joe gets them their own place. And then Cletus Joe grows up since he 20 years has passed, so I would hope he would grow up after a while. And decides to move out. And then he goes to move out, and he figures out that he hasn't had a job in a while, so he needs to get one of those. Because he doesn't have any problems, like stupid problems. You know. Don't want to be stupid. So he can't get Social Security because he's not stupid. So goes out, applies for a bunch of places, gets a job, saves up some money, moves out, and then they grow old and die. The end.
All right, that's sums up the eccentric cast of Storytime with Cletus Joe, and then obviously the fish Cletus, or the turtle Cletus and the fish Joe. A lot of Cletus Joes.
He killed the turtle. He killed 2 turtles. So.
He did kill 2 turtles.
Well, his neighbors killed the second turtle.
Yeah.
They were hoping for some turtles.
I think that story ended up more racial and graphic. But it's okay. It's okay.
Racial and graphic.
Well, if you're
I
talking
can't
about
help.
rednecks.
That kid was like, the whole time.
Probably because that's all he heard that his dad and mom did the whole time, and they probably didn't teach him how to talk, so they just grunted, and he had to go off of that. This is what he heard all the time. And he's just Cletus Jr.?
Yeah. No, Cletus Joe.
Cletus Joe, whatever the fuck he wants to be called, was just probably making those noises, those grunts and moans in his room, jerking off with a jar of grape jelly.
delicious.
Yeah.
And
It's
not
a good thing
even
they
like-
didn't have a dog.
which I don't
They
like.
did.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, it was in Cletus's pants.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's not a real dog. This whole thing is. This whole thing's fucking retarded. I'm done.
Good. Get
So,
out of here.
So we're
Nobody likes you.
this is a Eccentric Ass, and we're gonna wrap it up here. So bye bye.